Well, we love Tom Appel. He knows every square inch of your car, my car, cars that haven't even been made yet.
And he's an active user and commenter on your Facebook page.
Tom's a listener. We appreciate that, obviously.
Question of the day.
But Consumer Guide Automotive is where you can catch Tom all the time. Where do folks follow you on social?
I'm on Twitter or whatever that's called now. I guess that's X. But I am Car Guy Tom on X Twitter.
All right. So, look, I want Rivian to be successful, not just because it's an unbelievably cool truck, but because they're downstate in Bloomington with their factory, and now they're going to do a showroom in Chicago. What shape is the company in?
Rivian has had such a tough row to hoe, but they seem to they're spunky, and I think they're surviving. And the good news is that last year they almost hit their production targets. This year it looks like they may actually hit them. But Rivian got smacked down hard by the supply chain issues that were born of COVID, and were unable to produce what they needed to produce, and it costs a lot of money to underproduce. You really want your factory to be as well utilized as possible. And then they ran into an interesting issue this year where their inventory balance was kind of messed up. They had been producing just the pickup, the Rivian R1T, very well-reviewed vehicle, and they added the R1S, which is a crossover, and people overwhelmingly prefer the crossover. That's a more functional, more useful vehicle. Anyway, they had the production balance wrong, and they had to have a fire sale on the pickups to balance their inventory. So that didn't really help things either.
So, Tom, I saw, we always talk about Rivian. I actually have never seen one in person. And then the other day, right downtown, I saw one just driving up Michigan Avenue. And I'm like, well, maybe it's on its way to its new home at the showroom on Michigan Avenue. Is that open yet?
Oh, I don't know about the showroom downtown, but if you see a Rivian, you know it. The design is really interesting, and I think they look great. But the unique headlight and taillight treatments really stick out in traffic.
So the stock price has been an issue.
Yeah.
The production, obviously, if you don't have cars to sell, it's an issue. But isn't this sort of a similar glide path that Tesla was on?
Very similar, yeah. There's just a lot of optimism there. And unlike Tesla, Rivian doesn't do as many head fakes, right? Rivian doesn't have all these weird future products that they distract people with and that they distract shareholders with. They're just trying to get the product made. But this year they've promised to build 50,000 vehicles, build and deliver 50,000 vehicles, and they're on track right now. So far this year they've done, I've got a number, 23,387. So they're just a little off the pace. So that's the number they told stockholders, and we're all rooting for them.
And I'm trying to say, so the showroom's going to be in the Fulton Market District, or at least that's where they were originally going to have it. Now it looks like it's going to be on North Rush Street in Gold Coast.
Yeah. But the price point on a Rivian...
Not cheap.
Not cheap.
No, a little bit more affordable than some electric stuff that's coming out, but yeah, it's still high-endy, and that's kind of a legacy problem. A lot of companies, a lot of startups that came out with EVs, the way they made it work on paper was that they were going to bring out a luxury vehicle, and that makes some sense because EV early adopters tend to be high-income individuals or high-income families, so they can afford that. But ultimately, that model isn't going to take you to high volume. So they started there. They have a cheaper, I should say more affordable vehicle that they're going to introduce probably in 2024. We'll see it in 2024. It's a smaller crossover. So that's more of a more sustainable marketing plan if they can make money on the smaller margins.
I like it. I'm
Nick?
still in the market for a new car. Maybe it's a Rivian.
You've been buying a car since last fall.
I think it's going to be a Rivian.
Yes, Nick.
I saw Bloomberg had a story the other day about Ford and their sales of the Lightning and how the sales have kind of cooled off. Ford was able, though, to make up for it with demand now all of a sudden for gas-powered vehicles. What's going on there?
Yeah, people who might remember that the F-150 Lightning, which was introduced something like 2 years ago, introduced with spectacular pricing, right? There was a model called the Pro, which was for commercial sales only, that was just $40,000. Since then, Ford has raised prices 5 or 6 times. That particular vehicle rose to like $60,000. And the consumer versions of the vehicle, especially the premium versions, were touching on $100,000. So Ford got a little greedy and raised prices too quickly. They have since adjusted prices, and this is important too, on a vehicle called the XLT, which is a mid-trim level with the premium battery, the long-range battery, which is very popular. They got that price back under $80,000. So this matters because you can now buy that car and qualify for the federal tax rebate of $7,500. So the net reduction in price on that model came to about $16,000 if you include the federal tax rebate.
That's good.
But with those prices, though, I mean, just a regular, 2-income middle-class family, I mean, 2 kids and a dog.
Thanks.
I mean, that's expensive.
It's really expensive, yeah. It's expensive even for pickups, and pickup trucks have gotten very expensive. But the people buying them do tend to buy premium versions of pickup trucks, and it's not unusual to see a non-electric pickup truck hit $70,000 anymore.
So we've got stories floating around this week too, where you know it's like if you don't bring your charger on vacation, and I'll run into Target, I'll get a charger, you plug it into your phone goes, kiss my butt, that's not one of us.
Right.
It's not one of our chargers, or it charges it at a rate of, see me in 6 weeks, you'll get a full charge. It seems the EV category, you better get the charger right or you're going to burn your house down. Is that where we're at?
Oh, man, it's almost like we hit reset, and it's really disappointing because we're pretty far into this evolution. But we have the thing now where major manufacturers, General Motors and Ford included, have teamed up with Tesla to provide charging for their buyers. And then independently, there's a new, and this is brand new, but BMW, General Motors, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, who else is here? Mercedes, Stellantis have just started their own charging network. Now, they haven't begun yet, but this is just a result of manufacturers being disappointed in the existing charging infrastructure. They had to go and do it themselves.
It's our friend Tom Appel. And by the way, you got a new website at Consumer Guide, right?
We do, yeah, and it's working lickety-split today. I'm very, yes, we're up.
give that up. Where are we going for it?
ConsumerGuide.com, and the fun is at the blog, which you can get to right there from the homepage.
Well, that's great information as always. We appreciate it, my friend.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thanks, Tom.
That's Tom Appel.
Take care, guys.
He's tremendous.
I'm looking for a car online right